So a few of you, yeah. Right. Well, it's quite evident today that the education system praises mathematics and sciences rather than humanities and arts. And although the world around us is constantly changing and evolving, the education system teaches students to meet the idea of industrialism. Lena Dali from the Huffington Post states that students have lost the capacity of creation simply because our teaching methods don't stimulate innovation and creativity. Pablo Picasso once said, "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up." We live in a world where being wrong is terrible and should be avoided at all costs. In his TED Talk, "Do Schools Kill Creativity?" Sir Ken Robinson states that students these days are not prepared to be wrong. Therefore, nothing original is being created. In this century, the world demands students who can think creatively and critically. The education system focuses so much on standardized testing that today's teaching techniques are taking the beauty out of learning. How exactly are schools diminishing creativity? To put it simply, students are taught to listen when being spoken at rather than spoken to, and instead of doing things differently and risking everything once in a while. It is a constant cycle of reading from expensive textbooks and memorizing facts and information in order to ace an exam, then forgetting all the information as soon as you leave the classroom. Students are no longer going far and beyond to achieve. Rather, they're just memorizing information because what they're learning they aren't passionate about or aren't intellectually stimulated. This cycle has existed for a long time now. Only a few, like Albert Einstein and Walt Disney, have challenged this and changed the course of history. It is as if students are only in for being educated or getting an education for the promise of money. Students are given rubrics and certain expectations that are given for so-called creative writing assignments. All requirements and answers are given except for the freedom to truly express one's ideas. Every student learns differently. I myself am a hands-on person. I can't sit in a classroom for too long and just listen and take notes. But this culture of standardized testing is diminishing talent, not just only students, but also teachers. This disaster is apparent. You only have to look at the astounding dropout rates, dissatisfaction, stress, and prescription drugs that students are using. Even for students who stay and get a degree, the value of degrees are plummeting. Forbes magazine states the waste of talent in education is not deliberate, it's systematic. The education system is linear, mechanistic, and focused on conformity and standardization. The focus of education should be developed to provide innovation skills and motivation to succeed instead of simply filling children with knowledge. The memorization of planets, state capitals, and the periodic table of elements can only take a student so far. Skill and will determine the ability for a student to think outside the box. Tony Wagner, an education professional, has 6 things a student should master before leaving high school. 1, critically thinking and problem solving, which is the ability to ask the right questions. 2, agility and adaptability. 3, initiative and entrepreneurialism. 4, accessing and analyzing information. 5, effective written and oral communication. And 6, curiosity and imagination. The culture of schooling is at odds with the culture of learning that provides innovators. Tony Wagner also has 5 ways America's education system is stunning innovation. 1, individual achievement is the focus. A bulk of time is spent on focusing GPAs. It's a competition among peers. But Wagner says innovation is a team sport, and fundamental problems are too complex to innovate or solve by oneself. 2, specialization is celebrated and rewarded. Learning to be an innovator is about crossing disciplinary boundaries and exploring problems and solutions from different perspectives. 3. Risk aversion is the norm. Wagner says to fail early and to fail often. Without failure, there is no innovation. 4. Learning is profoundly passive. Innovative learning cultures teach about creating, not consuming. And 5. Eccentric incentives drive learning. Young innovators are intrinsically motivated, and they're not interested in grading skills or petty reward systems. Students should grow to find passion and not just academic achievement. We need to take the transition to be an innovation-driven culture and an innovation-driven society. A consumer society is bankrupt. This requires the use for a different vision of education. The system needs reinventing, not reforming. It is our mission to ensure that the next generation will be full of inventors, musicians, artists, and even mathematicians who will bring the humanity to its next level. So, nurture creativity, fuel curiosity, and create well-rounded individuals.